Jaguar Wright is not exactly the biggest fan of Diddy's twin daughters, and she is not even trying to hide that anymore. And this time, she's speaking on how the twins treat Diddy's other daughter, Chance, and it turns out that the sisterly love they show to her on social media is supposedly fake AF. Word on the streets is that Jaguar has a lot of tea about how the twins supposedly torture Chance. Girl, there is a lot of insanity going on behind the scenes in Diddy's family, so let's start by breaking this one down. Honestly, you gotta give the girls credit. They've done a pretty convincing job of presenting this whole we're super close vibe online, especially with that shared Instagram account featuring all the sisters. On the surface, everything looks tight, but fans have started picking up on something that doesn't quite add up once you look past the curated posts. People are starting to notice that the twins seem to get a lot more attention. More photos, more tags, more everything, while Chance kind of fades into the background. And it's not just fans making this up. The difference in how often the twins are spotlighted compared to Chance feels a little too consistent to ignore. A lot of folks think this might be a reflection of how Diddy treats them, like the twins are front and center, while Chance is more of an afterthought. And what's making it worse is that the dynamic seems to have rubbed off on the girls themselves. The twins appear much tighter with each other, and it almost feels like Chance is on the outside looking in. So while the public image is all sisterly love, behind the scenes, the energy might be a lot less balanced than they're letting on. For instance, during his performance at the 2023 VMAs, it was just the twins who joined him on stage. Chance was noticeably absent, and that moment really stood out to a lot of people who were already sensing something was off.
I know you're still living your life after death.
There are also several old videos on his YouTube channel from when the girls were younger, but it's pretty much always Jesse and Delilah in them. There's no video showing Chance, and according to Jaguar Wright, this is one of the major reasons that the twins don't really see Chance as their sister.
With my ladies, this my future superstar, Jesse. Say peace.
Peace.
This Delilah. Hey, what's up everybody out there? This is another episode of P Twitty TV. And I have my little ladies, my queens here.
I'm Jesse.
Jesse, you Jesse James?
Jesse James?
You an outlaw?
Yeah.
Yeah. You an outlaw?
Yes.
Yes. Daddy's girl?
Yes.
Kid daddy kiss.
Are you gonna see that, baby?
Daddy kiss.
But according to Jaguar, the main reason the twins seem to low-key hate Chance is that they blame her for their parents not being together. They believe that Chance robbed them of the chance to have a happy family because she broke their parents apart. So here's the thing. Chance was born while Diddy was still with the late Kim Porter, which basically confirms he was cheating. And this wasn't one of those oops moments that could be brushed off. The timeline told on him, and when everything came out, it was clear this was a full-blown situation. None of it is Chance's fault, obviously, but the circumstances around her birth came with a lot of baggage, all because of the choices her dad made. Let's break down how everything played out because it definitely wasn't simple. In the early 2000s, Diddy and Kim Porter were deep in a long-running on and off relationship. It wasn't some casual fling. This was a serious emotional roller coaster with years of history behind it. Kim wasn't just a girlfriend, she was a huge part of his life. Not only did they have twin daughters together, Jesse and Delilah, but Diddy also stepped in as a father to Quincy, Kim's son from a previous relationship. To most people watching from the outside, Kim looked like the one person who truly had his heart. But behind closed doors, things were far from picture perfect. While Kim was still very much in his life, Diddy was also quietly involved with another woman, Sarah Chapman, a low-key beauty from Atlanta who had been in the mix for years. Their relationship wasn't out in the open or overly flashy, but it was definitely serious enough. And yep, Sarah is Chance's mother. So while Diddy was out here building a public life with Kim playing the role of family man, he was also seeing Sarah behind the scenes. And once Sarah got pregnant with Chance, everything got a whole lot messier. The timelines didn't just overlap, they collided. What started as something private ended up blowing up, and eventually the truth came out. Kim found out Diddy had fathered another child while they were still together, and just like that, the whole situation turned into a very public betrayal. This is where everything really spiraled. It wasn't just that Diddy had another woman on the side. Both Sarah and Kim were pregnant at the exact same time. While Kim was expecting the twins, Sarah was carrying Chance. Their due dates parents were only a few months apart, which meant the girls were born within the same year, with Chance arriving first. When the truth finally came out in 2006, it caused a major drama. It wasn't just a cheating scandal, it was the kind of revelation that changed everything. And what made it even more painful was the timing. According to insiders, Kim had no idea at first. She was already well into her own pregnancy when she allegedly found out that Sarah was also expecting Diddy's child. The shock of it all, while preparing to welcome twins, must have been overwhelming. Eventually, Kim decided she'd had enough. After years of dealing with Diddy's infidelity and all the chaos that came with it, she walked away. It wasn't an easy decision, and she opened up in later interviews about how difficult it was to leave someone she had built so much history with. But for her, it came down to setting the right example for her kids. Sarah Chapman, on the other hand, kept things cute. She stayed out of the spotlight for the most part and rarely addressed anything publicly about Diddy or their relationship. When she did speak up years later, she made it clear that her priority had always been raising Chance in a stable, private environment. She wanted her daughter to grow up without being dragged into the drama and to be able to choose her own path when the time was right. In the beginning, Diddy didn't exactly step up when it came to Chance. He reportedly denied responsibility and was more focused on trying to win Kim Porter back, but Kim wasn't having it. After everything that happened, she stood her ground and refused to go back to that situation. And eventually, Diddy did acknowledge Chance and took on the role of co-parent, though a lot of people believe he only did it after the media started digging into the story and putting pressure on him. It didn't really seem like a voluntary move at first. Kim, as usual, handled it all with remarkable grace. We may never know the full details of her relationship with Sarah Chapman, but from the outside, it looked like she chose to move forward without holding on to the bitterness. There are several photos of her and Sarah alongside Diddy, which suggests they found a way to make co-parenting work despite how it all started. But just because their mom forgave Diddy and Sarah doesn't mean that the twins feel the same way, because Jaguar Wright is claiming that they still hold a major grudge against Sarah and by extension, Chance. Word on the streets is that they still hold on to some Delulu beliefs that if Sarah hadn't gotten pregnant, Kim would have never broken up with Diddy. But that's not where the Delulu ends, because allegedly they still think that Kim would still be alive if she hadn't dumped Diddy. So somehow they allegedly think that Chance had something to do with their mom being dead, which explains why they switched up on her after Kim Porter passed. Yeah, that's messed up to say the least. According to rumors, it wasn't that bad before Diddy went to prison, because he reportedly stepped in to check the twins whenever they went too far in mistreating Chance. He forced them to play nice, and he's the reason the twins were forced to pretend that they were one big happy family. But as soon as he went to prison, that changed. And that's why we never saw much of the three girls together outside the courtroom. Jaguar's comments switched things up and changed everything we know about the twins. But let me know what you think in the comments, and then check out this next video.